Hey guys, Peter especially. So I'm talking to 33rd degree Mason here, and I just wanted to people know what what organization is all about here. All right. Well, tell us about yourself a little
Hi,
bit.
well, I'm Dave Triplett. I joined the lodge because my father-in-law was involved in 1974, a year before he got out of teaching. And I it involved 3 degrees. For a long time, I would go to these different meetings and things, and I said to my wife, "How come your dad never asked me to join?" He says he can't. A Mason cannot ask another person to belong. You have to, you have to, of your own free will and accord, you have to ask to know. So in order to be a Mason, you have to ask one. And once you ask, then they can give you a petition.
All right.
And then once you get a petition, then the lodge in your area, like in Boise, we have lodge number 1, meets on a second Monday, number 2, which meets on the first Tuesday, and 60, I think they meet on the first Fridays, and then 93, which I'm a past master of, meets on the first Monday of each month. Right now we're doing Zoom meetings. We get on the Zoom and talk because the Grand Master says there's a lot of older Masons, we don't want to expose them to the virus, so we're not having meetings right now.
Okay.
But once you get a petition, it'll ask you a few questions. One, you have to believe in God. You have to believe in an afterlife,
Okay.
that your soul's immortal. And uh, usually we don't take felons.
Okay.
We take good men and try to make them better through the ancient concept of the tools of architecture. So a mason was the working masons laid block. They built the great cathedrals in Europe,
Yeah.
etc. And as that stage declined, they started taking in noblemen and men called speculative masons. So we don't, as masons, we don't really, we don't lay block, but we are that block.
Right. Right.
You know,
Got it.
so the metaphor of learning is we give you tools to make yourself better. The square, the plumb, the level.
Okay.
All of these are then taught you through ritual on how to become a better person. Like uh, uh, one would say, well, I learned to subdue my passions and improve myself in masonry. Then I would ask someone, well, what passion do you have that you need to subdue? Do you get angry? Do you get upset with drivers that are going too slow? There's things that, you got to look at the lessons that are taught. So you take the first degree, and then in most states, there's a proficiency. You have to memorize your obligation, and
Okay.
some states don't. England doesn't do that anymore, but we do in Idaho. We think it's really important.
Okay.
And then, so the entered apprentice in ancient time was a laborer,
Okay.
in and then the second degree is called the fellowcraft degree. So it was like, okay, now you've improved yourself. It's like a union.
Okay.
Say, well,
So
I've
yeah.
done, I've proved myself proficient. I've done these things. I've memorized my work. I can start to learn the lessons to be a better man. And so you take the second degree, and then following that, you take the Master Mason's degree, which is the third degree, which in Masonry we say is the highest degree you'll ever get. Even though,
Okay.
like, I'm a 33rd, which is a white hat Scottish Rite, and a
Okay.
past Grand Master, but I'm on the level with every brother. I'm no higher or
Yeah, I mean, I
lower
could
than,
totally,
yeah,
totally tell you,
yeah,
you just like, I mean, you're a random person. I mean,
yeah.
and we even got the same
Yeah, we got
shirts.
the same shirt today. So that's the basis of it. In fact, I got to swing by. There's at the Grand Lodge on 17th Street of Idaho. They have a little pamphlet called "Friend to Friend," and so in there covers some information. Uh,
Okay. So I would say the main question people will have, they'll ask like, is it a secret organization? I mean, could anybody just walk in and get information or?
yeah, you can walk in and get it. Uh, if we were secret, no one would know about us.
Okay, got it.
So we have private things. Otherwise, uh, our teaching, uh, our style of teaching, our modes of recognition, uh, How do I recognize one brother Mason? You know,
Okay.
those are kind of held secret. You know, they're private.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. That's
you know, I
nothing.
mean, you can go on the internet and someone has written something about it somewhere. You know,
Yes.
anyway, but uh, it's a respected uh, thought pattern to develop. You know, critical thinking and for self-improvement.
Okay. And what does the organization do? I understand you run in a hospital for.
The Shriners, which are, you have to be a Mason to be a Shriner,
Okay.
and I'm on the hospital board in Portland.
Okay.
So we have 22 hospitals that are covered. We have one in Canada, one in Mexico, and then the other 20 around where we do work. We do burns. Some of them are set up to do burns. Some are really heavy into cleft lip and palate. The Portland hospital where I'm on the board of governors for is we do major scoliosis, back problems, and
Okay.
orthopedics for legs. So
Okay.
that's our major stuff. We have one doctor there that just works with hands.
Okay.
You know, hand
And what
issues.
about if someone won't be able to pay, or you guys, is it like pretty much charity hospital?
Yeah.
Or it is? Okay.
If you know, we do take third-party pay, but there's no cost to the parent.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise, you know, if they can't.
And why would people think Mason control the world? I mean, why would that?
Well, we should.
Yeah.
That would be a better place because you know the three tenets: brotherly love, relief, and truth are the very core of what we are. And then faith, hope, and charity is the other core. So
Okay.
you look at those 6 things, you know, when you say, well,
The
you know,
world will be a better place.
yeah, because charity will extend beyond the grave. You know, it's when you do good and help someone. You know, it's kind of like I struggle with, you know, when you say, well, you know, do unto others as you do, you know, you treat your neighbors yourself. I struggle with that a little bit
Okay.
because I got some neighbors that I don't particularly like to
To treat as yourself.
treat as
Okay.
myself.
Do you guys have a Bible that you read, or you have a special book that it's like
When we take our obligations, you take it upon your Bible.
on your Bible?
So we have
which is King James or the Holy
Yeah,
Bible?
yeah.
Okay. So
we have a Muslim in our
Okay.
lodge, and so he uses his holy book.
okay.
We have Krim is. We've had Buddha. So and all you have to do is believe in a supreme being.
Supreme. So what about if someone joined like a satanic cult and they came, wanted to be a Mason? Could they still be in a?
We ask you questions about, you know,
Okay.
on whether you are qualified or not.
Okay. So a person will not qualify if they practice a witchcraft or
No.
they would not.
That
Okay.
wouldn't be now there's I know there's guys in lodge that practice Reiki.
Okay.
That's a healing.
Okay. So they are qualified.
Yeah.
So and healing, is it like a supernatural or is just
It's
just
a natural healing.
it's a natural healing?
Yeah, it's a hands-on. It's kind of like when I was growing up. My dad wanted to join a church. We ended up being LDS,
Oh, okay.
and they had the hands-on healing.
Okay.
You know, and that's in the Bible a lot. You know.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So you know that God's gifts we're to be thankful for.
Okay.
You know,
So they appreciate it, right? The God's gift. Like, I mean, if
Yeah, got to realize they're not me. It's a
Okay.
gift.
okay.
You know,
got
I'm
it.
not. It's,
So hopefully this video gonna help a lot of people
Yeah.
to understand what Masons is all about.
Yeah.
And when you guys gather, do you do sacrifices? Do you practice any
We,
offerings or?
we start off a meeting with prayer. We never start anything without prayer.
Okay.
And usually, like on a third degree, we'll have a afterwards a little celebration. You know, so we'll have toasts. When I was in England, they had a second degree, and they had little good Scotch shots after
Okay.
after the meeting. There's nothing that a Christian or a Jewish person or a Hindu or anyone would find objective
Okay.
you know, in his teachings, or because you know that they propound brotherly love, that we're all on the same level.
Yep.
Otherwise, the level we use to make sure the bricks are level. Well, we're supposed to keep everything level. That we are on the same level. There's no difference between you and I.
Okay. Well, that's and
We have Japanese. We have blacks. We have variety. There's no. During an early time, Prince Hall was a mason and started black masonry, and they still have, and it's kind of separate. Otherwise, they have a lodge in Mountain Home. It's a Prince Hall Lodge, but they do the same work. It's a little bit different. It's kind of like language.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, as you move, you know, we don't say the exact same things in Idaho as they do in Oregon,
Okay. So
because most of it's memorized. And so when you're just talking mouth to ear,
yeah.
some things can get lost
Okay.
or changed a little bit.
So and probably last question. I don't want to keep you. What's the difference between Freemason and Mason?
Well, a mason would be a guy that lays stone
Okay.
and block.
So Freemason, it's
Freemason is, during that building time, you couldn't be an indentured slave. You had to be able to free to move
Okay.
and work in the buildings. You couldn't be an indentured. You know, you had to be free.
So it's pretty much like a self-employed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, I appreciate your time. If people have any questions, I will contact you. And thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. Have a good one.